Hello everyone, welcome to the Valley News Now desk. Duke Schindler here, joining you on this Wednesday late morning here as we got plenty of things to get through when it comes to what's happening here around the FM area. And we had some snow make it through the area last night here. So let's take a look at some current conditions before we send it over to Lisa for a little bit of a weather update here at this time. As you can see, milder second half of the week includes fog potential, but I'd say a lot of people will take that at this point in time after that brutal stretch of weather we've had this pretty much last week or so. So you can see it right there. That's what everyone's looking at. 34 degrees here at this time. We love to see it, and the wind is not playing too much of a factor here. Only 6 miles an hour. So taking a peek throughout the day, it's only going to get warmer for the people watching here right now. We love to see it as we are going to get close to above 45 here as we get to the 5 p.m. hour. But as we move on, things, of course, slow down a little bit, get a little cooler. But we're going to see another rise in temperatures as we'll take a look at the 10-day here. 46, 52, 61, 49 should be a great weekend. And if you're a college basketball fanatic like I am, I won't be able to enjoy this weather too much. I'll be stuck on the couch here. But that is what things are looking like right now. We'll take a peek at road conditions in just a little bit here, but let's send the rest over to our professional, Lisa Green.
Good morning. It's been a foggy start for some of us. Others, we're watching clouds start to fill in more and more as we've got our next chance for precip in the Northern Valley arriving with a weak disturbance that's going to touch off an isolated shower. Whether it's a light rain shower or a snow shower, we're looking at places along and north of Highway 2, especially on the Minnesota side here. So temperatures are going to be mild throughout the valley. We'll be more into the 30s north this afternoon and more likely getting into the 40s in the south as we move through time here. You can see we'll get into some mid to upper 40s in the south. But you may have also noticed that precip sweeping through as we head through the afternoon and into this evening. That possibility for a passing shower is there all the way into the late night hours tonight in the north and east. Now heading into tomorrow morning, that moves on and we may see more fog form as temperatures cool overnight for your Thursday morning. But overall, milder temperatures ahead in the forecast through the rest of the week and even into the weekend, and our next system will arrive on Saturday.
And thank you very much for that, Lisa. As you can see, things are finally looking up for the area as we approach the first day of spring as well. But we're going to dive into some stories here and what's been around the FM area at this time, as we've been following this story since last night as well. Fargo police arrested a suspect that had an armed man with a baseball bat during a disturbance call coming from downtown. The department says 59-year-old Dennis Christensen from Fargo has been taken into custody on charges of terrorizing on an unrelated warrant. Yesterday afternoon, police and the Red River Valley SWAT team responded to Robert Street North, where Christensen had barricaded himself inside. Now, after the SWAT team breached the door, he was then arrested and currently being held in Cass County Jail. Now we'll bring things back here as we'll kind of move things toward Fargo's police chief Dave Zabolski. He says they're looking to clear up things in the case of a grandmother who was locked up for a crime she didn't commit, particularly because of the department's use of artificial intelligence. Now this case has been a hot topic the last week throughout the community. That wrongfully arrested woman on bank fraud charges of tens of thousands of dollars. But where did this all go wrong? Valley News Team's Alex Larson has a breakdown of what police say went into the case and what they're going to do moving forward.
Doesn't mean that there aren't areas for improvement for us in that, but this case was not solely based on just that one piece.
Fargo Police Chief Dave Zabolski says Angela Lips's case came to his attention a week and a half ago, and inquiries from local media outlets were responded to with what police could provide, as this is an active and ongoing investigation. But he says there were more steps leading to the arrest of Lips than just AI.
Many people are involved in a case like this that gets to this point.
With the information detectives gathered, they ran it through an AI function at the North Dakota State Intelligence Center.
That information is obtained and then other investigative steps are taken to try and shore that up. That is not anything that we own or that we have here at FPD.
From there, the state's attorney's office determines probable cause. Then a judge orders an arrest warrant. In this case, a nationwide extradition was issued.
Nationwide extradition isn't authorized in every warrant case, but in this case it was, exemplifying that there was sufficient probable cause from the judge's perspective as well.
And according to the chief, when someone is extradited, the state's attorney's office is notified.
Per the Cass County Jail policy, they don't notify our department or the department that is involved in the warrant.
Let's start from the beginning. This investigation started in the spring of 2025. On June 2nd, detectives sent their investigation to the state's attorney for review. July 1st, that was referred to a judge who signed off on nationwide extradition. July 14th, Angela Lips was arrested in Tennessee. October 20th, Tennessee told Cass County they had a waiver for extradition. By October 30th, Lips was booked into the Cass County Jail. October 31st was her first court appearance. Fast forward to December 5th, it was the first time FPD found out she was in custody. Detectives were notified she was in jail with a court-appointed attorney. December 12th, that new information about her bank records were brought up. Friday, December 19th, FPD spoke to Lips and her attorney, and the following Monday, more investigating was done. By the 23rd, detectives and the state's attorney spoke and agreed on releasing charges. On December 24th, Lips was released. Again, in Lips's GoFundMe, she says she lost everything and was released in summer clothes, working herself out a way home.
I think there's a lot of information that we somehow ignored her and left her in jail for an extended period of time without cause, and certainly that did not occur in this case.
According to police, Lips was provided a winter coat upon release.
The detective had offered a hotel room and tried to arrange a ride home for her, and she indicated that she had a ride and she didn't need any other assistance.
Zabulski says the department is conducting a review of their investigative processes moving forward.
In attempts to identify any additional steps that can be utilized, especially when dealing with AI investigative leads. Really, just like any other piece of evidence, we always seek to corroborate that in some other fashion. The detectives in this case did that piece.
He says they're also working with Cass County and the state's attorney's office about notification of extradited or arrested persons.
In talking with them, their normal protocol, and this is what they've always done.
As far as what the chief has to say to Lips, for the 3.5 months she spent in jail for a crime she didn't commit and her claims of losing everything.
I think things like that are traumatic. However, I'm unable to corroborate the veracity of any of those statements.
In studio, Alex Larson, Valley News Live.
Now our questions with Chief Zabulski were kept short. They granted us less than a 10-minute interview, but Zabulski also did mention a second person arrested in connection with the case who's now moving through the criminal justice system. We'll pull her up right here. Court documents say 49-year-old Noelle Bilbrough from Atlantic City, New Jersey, is a suspect in 3 separate fraud cases utilizing the same scheme during the same time frame. Now, she's accused of taking nearly $30,000 from accounts across Fargo, and we're told she is not involved with the incident, that Lips is being charged with. Now, Applied Digital continues to work on the artificial intelligence site in Harwood after they broke ground back in September. Just last week, the company did secure more than $2 billion to move the project forward. In an interview with our partners at Flag Family Media, the CEO did explain the need.
But if you look at the adoption curve versus even the internet, the most recent, or maybe mobile phone, the amount of users that are using generative AI and then the applications that generative AI are going to has just been, it's barely a curve. It's really almost a straight up line.
The Harwood site is expected to employ more than 200 full-time workers and will be powered by Cass County Electric. Now we'll continue to move on here as we'll wrap this up with a little bit of road conditions as we did, like I mentioned, see some snow here coming last night. And as you can see, we'll start, of course, on the Minnesota side. Things seem to be a little more tied up in that area, but we'll take a look at some of the areas that may be affected from the storm. As you can see right here, I will pull up this handy dandy key. Partially covered is that blue, solid blue line that you see there right above me at this time. We'll pull up some plow cameras to not see if we can't find anything around the area. But as you can see, near Glendon, not the best road conditions. We've got partially covered roads here at this time. Let's play a little video, see how things are looking here. Pretty steady at this point, pretty steady. Looks like people may be taking it a little slower than usual, but nothing out of the ordinary there. Now, I can expect, and we'll take a peek at a couple more here just to see what the area is looking like. Pictures snapped just outside of Dilworth, 11:06. So just a few minutes ago, this was updated. But as you can see, looking pretty decent here at this time. Getting a little further down to some action on 94 here, heading into Barnesville. Supposed to be partially covered roads, but of course, everyone's going to be taking it a little more safe here, because we did experience some precipitation. But all in all, not looking too bad here as we get a little closer to Lawndale into Rothsay. Take a look at the plow camera. It's looking pretty decent out there, and I assume not many of those guys will have much to do today, as the sun and peeking out there and the warmer temperatures could do significant damage to that snow in terms of melting it. But yeah, not looking too bad. You may see a couple icy spots on my drive home on Monday from my hometown. There was definitely a few icy patches on the way to Fargo that did kind of drag your car a little bit, but you know, they weren't significant really enough to really take your car in a direction you don't really want it going. Now we'll see that a little bit of, we could take a look at some Crookston action. I'll move this over just in case people want me to take a look at an area they're interested in. We'll go just about, we'll stick on US Highway 2, and you can see the melt has begun there in that area, getting a little close to Crookston. Now let's see, right outside Grand Forks on 220, picture snapped, I believe at 11:04 it looks like. And it's seemingly getting some of that extra excess ice off the road, excess snow. But road conditions themselves not looking too bad. I do not see any comments in our live feed here, so we'll continue to move things forward and move over to the North Dakota side. For some reason, I almost said Wisconsin. All right, start off in Lemoore. That's going to be where some action is, or at least they say so. Scattered, wet, slushy areas. You can see the sun, of course, doing the work there, getting her done. Maybe a couple slick, icy spots if you're down in that area near Wahpeton, west of Wahpeton, but and southeast of Jamestown. Supposed to be scattered wet slush, but it's looking pretty fine there. May have a couple icy spots, but I can't imagine the ice would stick around too long here. So let's get a little closer to Fargo, and she's looking beautiful. Moving a little further up 29. Yep, if you need to go anywhere these next few days, these are the days to do it. And even heading into the weekend too, if you got any plans, shouldn't be too bad. Looks like we got scattered frost in this light blue area, but I'm sure that won't be sticking around too long. As it looks like the sun's peeking out in many different places here, so that's always a good sign for a good snow melt. Of course, since we're in the FM area, gotta make sure, gotta keep an eye out for the floods and see how that goes. This picture was snapped 11:08 just about, but right around the Devil's Lake area, you can see not too bad. Around the lake itself, still frozen up, but roads pretty clear at this time. And I don't see any comments here at this time, so we're gonna start wrapping things up unless someone wants me to check out a certain part of the area. Sticking to Jamestown, that's a great Cheetos truck. Looking fine. Let's see if we can't find a little scattered frost around Findlay, Findlay. North Dakota 1 is looking pretty nice as well. Maybe, wet spots, potential ice spots that may be scattered, but Like I mentioned, it shouldn't stick around too long. Just outside of Grafton, west of Grafton, plenty snow coverage outside of the roads, but as you can see right on them, looking pretty good. Taken just before 11 a.m. And we'll see if we can't find anything in Cavalier here, just since we're up in the area. Nope. Everywhere is seemingly on their way to a little bit of a snow melt here. So we'll wrap things up there. Thank you very much for joining us here on our Valley News Now stream. For Duke Schindler, it was nothing but a pleasure, and we'll catch you later.